Or another good one, how about this? In Pro Tools, every audio file has to be exactly the same format. You can't mix and match. And I'm not talking about what Sequoia can do. I'm not talking about running a FLAC with an MP3, with an OGG Vorbis, with a WAV file, with an AIFF, and all different bit rates, 124, 192, 124, 44.1, 114-bit or 16-bit 44.1. I'm just talking about a simple session in which somebody walks into a room and goes, I just prepared this as a click track. There it is. You're working at 48K, 24-bit, and the guy brought the click track over, and it was 48, but it was 16-bit. Pro Tools can't play those two files together. Can't do it. Never. It won't do it. So you now, admittedly now it is a little easier when you bring it into the program. It realizes that, its sample rate converts it, it brings it back in, it adjusts it, and it brings it into the program. But in Sequoia, you just put it in the program. Somebody calls me, I'm in the middle of a mastering session, and they say, I just did a special mix of this that's not quite ready yet, but it's going to go into this. And I'm basing the work that I'm doing on a mastering session on the song before and the song after, and I want to have an idea of what's going to be in between. The guy sends me a quick, reasonably high-resolution MP3, an AIFF, a WAV file, whatever. He calls me on the phone, he says, what can I send you? I say, I work in Sequoia, send me whatever you want. I don't care, it'll play it. I throw it in, it doesn't convert it, it plays it, I play it through, I have an idea of what the guy's doing, and I can continue on the basis of the fact that I've got a placeholder in there that's giving me an idea of what that guy's doing, so I can keep going as opposed to that being the stopping. You know, I'm going to stop there. I don't want to stop there, I want to keep on going. So, and I don't want to sit and wait, and I don't want to have to say, well, I'm working at, you know, all of this is 88.2, 24-bit 88.2, so I want you to send me a 24.88.2. And the guy says, well, that's not what I'm working at. How do I do that? And how long will it take to download it on the internet, and so on and so forth. So these are just, I actually just had guys here from Avid.
Yeah.
There were some guys walking along the road, and they saw that this was a new studio because it used to be called Master Control, and now it's called Soundworks because we moved from North Hollywood. And they came in and they said, this was a couple months ago, because as I said, I do have a Pro Tools machine now. When they came in, they said, you don't have Pro Tools? And I said, no. And they said, wow, we are amazed. I mean, really, you know, I mean, you can't spit in Burbank without hitting a studio, right? I mean, pretty much they're all over the place. The other end of my block, Mark Rao, another, you know, competition, you know, Studiopolis down the streets, all kinds of studios right in and around here. So they come in and they go, you're not using Pro Tools. And I said, sit down, guys. Let me tell you what. I'll tell you what. I said, right now, I will buy an HD3 rig from you guys. I'll drop 25 grand if it can do what Sequoia can do, starting with this. Let's start with number one. I can't do that. How about bouncing out multiple files into one file in non-real time without having to play it back? No, we can't do that. Okay, how about more than 12 dB of gain on the object? Nope, can't do that either. Okay, how about a graphic waveform where I can actually tell what I'm looking at? That's in depth. That actually shows me what I'm supposed to, what I want to see. No, we can't do that either. How about being able to play an MP3 and a 24.192 file in the same window? No, we can't do that either. How long do you go down that road before you say, "Sorry, guys, bye"? You gotta, you know, I don't want to spend that kind of money. I'm not interested in buying that machine because it doesn't do what I want it to do. And, you know, Sequoia is not the only one. I mean, obviously there are other programs out there that have made some inroads and done pretty well as well. But I can say, from what I know, I don't know of any other program that does the object-based editing the way they do. If you were to walk into a recording studio with a big patch bay and they've got all these patches hanging off of them, and you look at it, or even a console in general as a whole, you look at it as one big piece, and you're not, because you're not focusing on one particular segment. You're just looking at it. You're going, wow, that's a lot going on. How did you know how to do it? You did it because you did it one thing at a time. It's about how you get there. It's not about how confusing it is. It's about the fact that you've done it because that's the next step in the audio chain. And you do it, and then you move on. The beauty of it is that you come back, and you can. It's all non-destructive. It's all being done by the host computer. So if you go back later and you find that maybe you did something that you didn't quite like, or that you wanted to adjust, or whatever, it's very easy to do that. You open the object editor, you click on the plugin that may be causing what you don't like, you adjust it a little bit, you close it, and you move on. I mean, everything's there. Everything that you've done is there. The fact that, you know, it'll say if you've got a plug-in on it, it'll actually put a little VST thing along the bottom. If you run into a situation where, because it is host-based and your computer's not quite fast enough to run that or slows down or bogs down at that point, you can always track freeze it.
Right.
And you can go back and unfreeze that. And when you unfreeze it, your entire line of plugins and everything that you did all come back so that you can use them. The graphics there's just no comparison. The graphics in Pro Tools compared to the graphics in Sequoia. Sequoia is a mastering program, first of all, and a derivative of Samplitude, so the graphics are the same. If you look at Comparisonics, or you just look at a regular graphic in Sequoia and you look at a graphic in Pro Tools basically says there's audio there, it got louder there, and it got softer there.
Right.
In Sequoia, I can look at a waveform and tell you where the low frequency information is and where the high frequency information is, and I can tell you if there's a click or maybe a pop in there someplace.
Right.
I can see it. I mean, if you're going to turn audio into a visual aspect, which you're doing because you're looking at a screen all day. You're typing, you wish that you'd taken a better typing class in high school. Turn it into something where your eyes are another sense besides your ears that tell you something about the audio that you're looking at. What does that mean? It means a lot. I mean, especially in audio restoration. I can tell you where there's low frequency information I might want to look at, and I might, whereas I wouldn't, I can actually see it. I can hone in on it and say that's a problem area. That could potentially be a problem area. Let's listen to that. Let's see what we got going on there. High frequency information. If you're recording an orchestra or something, you can definitely tell the difference between a flute and a bass. Bass is going to be very dark black information running along. The flute is probably going to be a very bright, possibly orange or reddish color, somewhat pink. You can almost tell if you're good enough at it, you get used to it. You can almost tell the instrument.
Right.
So it's a great way to work, and it's one that sometimes it takes a little bit of getting used to. But all this stuff is new. It's like, and when people, I think my quote about object-based editing is that I think that if there was ever a quantum leap in digital audio, that's it. Why would you've got a computer. It would be like working in Word as actually typing up a document and having to retype it because you didn't like something that you did before. No one would want to do that. They want to go back in and they want to modify it. And that's the way I see object-based editing as. You modify something. And sometimes you can do something quick and dirty and still have gained something by doing it, because nothing you did is permanent. It's not destructive. So you can go in and you can do maybe a quick fix on something, and then later on find that the quick fix that you did is part of what you would have done to get to the final product anyways.